The arrival of a mysterious comet heralds impending danger from enemies both old and new. As Ace helps the Doctor defend Earth, she's confronted with a dangerous question. Doctor Who? Welcome, friends and companions. How are you today? This is Enigmatic Joker, your host for this live stream. So, sci-fi and fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about their beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, my most beloved sci-fi series. I'll watch this series till eternity, dedicated to the one I love. This channel has multiple names. Actually, this channel regenerates regularly. But most of the time, this channel is called Random Entertainment Channel. And it's random because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Random because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times, just like the Doctor travels in time and space in his TARDIS, in past, present, and future, different times. And this world has different time zones, and I want to meet you. So you need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on to join me in a live stream / panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord. You can contact me there for a nice chat. Or you can put a comment on one of the YouTube videos of this channel. And we look what is possible. And it's also possible to invite me for your channel. And also to contribute to your channel to talk about the things we are passionate for, what we are enthusiastic about. So feel free to invite me for your channel. I want to make friends. I want to contribute. I'm available for that. By the way, this YouTube channel has many playlists. There are playlists about the personality of the different incarnations of the Doctor, about the companions, and also the different stories. And actually, this is all it's a like of a encyclopedia. This channel, so feel free to look at the playlist. Different places. It's always work in progress because, yeah, the Doctor is eternal. The Discord server of this channel. Yes, we have a Discord server, so you can chat with each other before, during, and after the live stream. So feel free to join me and to meet other people and to talk about the things we are interested in and enthusiastic about, passionate for. That's the Discord server. Cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. You're Enigmatic Joker. This is me. So today we have a seventh Doctor story. Yes, Sylvester McCoy. And story is called Silver and Nemesis. And as usual, we will begin now with the general info of this story. This story has three parts. What we will do is we first discuss the general info, then we dive into the plot, and where I do every part by part. Then I will name some cast members, some world building, and some story notes, and the continuity because stories and episodes are to some extent related to each other, are influencing each other, related to each other, linked to each other. It's always, oh, by the way, always an interpretation of the fan. But yeah, we do our best. So this is what is the live stream is built up. So let's go to the general info now. So Silver Nemesis was third and penultimate serial of season 25 of Doctor Who. Being the 25th anniversary story, John Lennon Turner chose silver as a theme for the story, alluding to the phrase Silver Jubilee. Kevin Clark contacted Andrew Cartmel and asked if he could write a script for the series. The only slot left was the special, and Clark claimed to have the perfect script. In fact, he didn't, but when he met with Nathan Turner, he proposed an 11th hour storyline to ask the question, who is the Doctor? That's a reference to DUC industrial action. Another team Nathan Turner wanted was royalty, and so Windsor Castle was introduced. He even sent a letter to Prince Edward asking him if he wanted to appear. He declined, but John Nathan Turner took it to be that he had wanted to appear, but Queen Elizabeth II had stopped him doing so. Arundel Castle doubled for Windsor, and several figures from the history of Doctor Who turned out to play tourists, including Andrew Morgan, Graham Curry, Caitlin Bidmead, Nicholas Courtney, Fiona Cumming, Peter Moffat, and Kevin Clark himself. This story featured the final appearance of the Cybermen in the original run of Doctor Who. So that is some general info. We dive now immediately into the plot. Part 1. So, South America, 22 November 1988. In an office full of Nazi imagery, a man looks at a computer screen displaying details on which he sees landing location Windsor, grid reference 74W 32N, November 23, 1988. Outside, his superior, de Flores, is about to shoot a parrot with a bow and arrow when the man informs him about the news. So, Windsor, England, 1638. A finely dressed woman is shooting pigeons with a bow and arrow whilst her menservants look on. In her house, an elderly gentleman mathematician is performing complex calculations. The woman enters and demands to know how long his work will take, but he is too engrossed in his work to answer her. She goes to the fireplace and, picking up a poisoned arrow, hands it to her men servants and tell him to put it with the others. He inquires after a silver arrow, and she replies that she will deal with that arrow personally. Back in the Nazi office, the Flores addresses a group of followers, telling them they are at the turning point of history. He proposes a toast to the Fourth Reich before taking a silver bow from a display case, preparing to board an aircraft. In space, a comet is seen from which a glowing energy emanates. Back in Windsor, the mathematician finally reveals the result of his calculations to the woman, telling her that the Nemesis comet circles the Earth every 25 years, and its decaying trajectory means that it will eventually fall to Earth from the point where it originally departed, the meadow outside. This will occur on 23, 23rd of November 1988. At a jazz performance by Courtney Pine, the Seventh Doctor and Ace relax and enjoy the music. Ace's newspaper, namely the Daily Mirror, has a story about a comet heading to Earth, but she's more interested in the football results. The Doctor hears a bleeping from his pocket watch and wonders of what it is trying to remind him. Pine's performance ends to applause, and Ace asks him to assign a tape for her. As they head back to the TARDIS, a concealed marksman raises a gun towards them. At the sound of gunfire, Ace and the Doctor duck down and retreat quickly towards the TARDIS, but have to jump in the river to escape their pursuers. Two men arrive wielding guns and wearing large stereo headphone-like devices, but Assuming they must have got their targets, they leave again. The Doctor and Ace then struggle back onto the riverbank. Safe now. In 1638, the mathematician dreams of great inventions that he could discover. The lady tells her servant to bring forth the potion, and he replies that they only require the final ingredient, human blood. They look meaningfully towards the mathematician. Ooh. The doctor fetches a new tape deck that he has built to replace the one of Ace's that had been destroyed by an Imperial Dalek. This one, however, can do much more than play tapes. The doctor tells Ace that his reminder had a terminal rating, meaning some planet somewhere is facing imminent destruction, and an image of the planet Earth appears on the tape deck. In 1638, the woman and her servant drink their potion and are surrounded by a glowing miasma. They begin to travel forwards through time. They appear in present day Windsor in the middle of a crowded cafe. The doctor admits that he has known about the possible destruction of Earth for 350 years. He and Ace take a quick trip in the TARDIS to Windsor Castle. In its basement, the doctor tells Ace he is looking for a silver bow. As the comet finally hits Earth, the woman's arrows begin to pulsate with light. In the castle, the doctor and Ace feel the force of the impact. The doctor tells Ace that it is the return to Earth of a comet called Nemesis, and then reveals that it was he who had launched it into space in the first place. Led by their glowing bow, the group of Nazis heads towards the comet in a van. De Flores is in no rush to retrieve the Nemesis yet, as the comet will be too hot due to its descent through the atmosphere. He tells his soldiers they will wait in a hotel, leaving British police to guard the site, unaware of the true power of the Nemesis. In the castle, Ace finds a card telling the history of the bow, relating to how it disappeared in 1788, and that unless a place is kept in the castle for its return, the entire silver statue will return to destroy the world. The doctor tells her that the statue has indeed returned with that purpose. At this point, the lights dim, and Ace thinks it's a power cut. Traveling back in time to 1638, the Doctor and Ace go to the time traveling woman's house in Windsor. Seeing the corpse of the mathematician, the Doctor hurriedly covers it with a cloth so that Ace does not see it. The Doctor sees the mathematician's calculations and is impressed that they had been able to work out when the Nemesis comet will return to Earth, only months since the Doctor's previous visit. The Doctor reveals that the woman, Lady Penford, made the Nemesis statue, depicting herself, out of a silver metal that fell to Earth in the meadow outside her house. The Doctor sees a chessboard and notes that the game is going rather badly. It tells Ace that Penford managed to travel forward in time to 1988 using the arrow and rudimentary knowledge of time travel, but mostly black magic. He says that she has a nose for secrets. The doctor tells Ace that the statue is made of a living metal, palladium, which is capable of great destruction. Painford and her servant Richard withdraw from the statue to assess the strength of the police guarding it. The police are having their own problems. Their radios are not working. The batteries are dead. Around the comet crash site, vents emerge from the ground spewing gas, causing the policemen to choke and fall unconscious. The TARDIS materializes outside Windsor Castle in 1988. The Doctor and Ace follow a group of tourists on a guided tour. Seeing a no entry sign, they sneak into the castle. Hearing the bark of dogs, they see a woman coming towards them with several corgis. The Doctor recognizes the woman, but can't immediately place who she is. Ace realizes that it is Queen Elizabeth II and drags him into hiding. However, when she tells him who it was, he races after the Queen, saying they need the armed forces and police on their side. And who better could they ask? However, the Doctor and Ace are seized by security guards before they can get anywhere near the Queen. The Doctor informs the guards that they got into the castle by traveling in time and space, but the guards are incredulous. The Doctor tells them the fate of every living person is in danger, but the guards do not believe him. Doctor dons a pair of glasses and, glaring at them, intones, "You will believe me! You will let us go!" Having distracted the guards with this spectacle, the Doctor and Ace flee into the corridors of the castle. As they run, Ace sees a portrait of herself hanging on the stairwell wall. When she says she does not remember this happening, the Doctor tells her that it is had not had that it is has not yet happened yet. Richard asks Penford what she will do when she gains control of the Nemesis, and she replies that first she will exact revenge on that predictable little man. She predicts that he will soon arrive and tells Richard she knows the secret of the nameless doctor. The Flores and his Nazis make their move off for the Nemesis comet and see the unconscious policeman. He takes the bow case and places it on the comet, and within the Nemesis statue begins to glow. The Doctor and Ace arrive, and the Flores demands that they hand over the arrow. The Doctor reveals that the bow and arrow give the vanadium metal particle mass. The Doctor confronts the Flores and asks if he has observed the advanced technology, which has been used to attack the policemen, and the power blackouts that have been occurring over the last few days. The Flores threatens to shoot Ace if they do not tell him where the arrow is, but at this moment a large spacecraft lands near the crash site. The door opens, and from within emerges a troop of Cybermen. End of part 1. Part 2. The cyber leader recognizes the Doctor, even though his appearance has changed, and tells the onlookers that the Cybermen had predicted his presence. The Nazis open fire on the Cybermen, but their bullets are ineffective. The Cybermen open fire and drive the Nazis away. The Doctor says that this happened before, but before it was the Roundheads and Lady Penford. Penford shoots one of the Cybermen with a bow and arrow, and the Doctor recognizes the arrows to be gold tipped, a major weakness for Cybermen, but so does the Forest. Penford and Richard withdraw, allowing the Nazis and the Cybermen to fight it out, hoping to retrieve the Nemesis in the aftermath. In the confusion, the Doctor and Ace manages to seize the silver bow and return to the TARDIS. Painford sees this and tries to shoot them, but her arrow cuts into the TARDIS door, just as it dematerializes. The Cybermen have killed all the Nazis except the Flores and his second in command, Carl. While Penford and Richard enter the town of Windsor, the Cybermen begin to cut the Nemesis statue free from the convent. The Doctor and Ace go back to Penford's house in 1638. The body of the mathematician has gone, and the chess pieces have also been moved. The Doctor tells Ace that although the mathematician was a genius, he had needed a little help to get started. The Doctor picks up a piece of paper from the desk and throws it into the fireplace. The Doctor makes a further move on the chessboard, and they leave. Materializing back in the present day, the Doctor explains that Validium was created on ancient Gallifrey by Omega and Reshlon as the ultimate defense. Some of it, however, left Gallifrey, and now they must stop Penford or anyone else reuniting the statue, the bow and the arrow. Using the bow to lead them, they proceed in the direction of the statue. In Windsor, Penford and Richard are confronted by two thugs who think they are mugging social workers. The doctor finds them and questions them later. They had been left semi-naked, dangling from a tree. As Richard is terrified by the sound of bears and the sight of a llama, Pinford tells him that if he does not help her retrieve the Nemesis, she will abandon him in this future time. He then sees that they are standing by a memorial statue. She tells him that it is his tomb, placed in the grounds of her own burial place. The arrow starts glowing, and they realize that is where the Cybermen have taken Nemesis' statue. As they score the tomb for Nemesis, the Cybermen prepare to attack, but realizing that they are armed with gold arrows, retreat. Opening up her own grave, Penford and Richard see that it does not contain her bones. Much to her surprise, the Doctor orders Ace to destroy the Cybermen spacecraft with Nitro 9 explosive. The headphone wearing men had been left out on guard outside, and the Doctor lures them into the wood while Ace hurls her Nitro 9 packed rucksack into the ship, which is destroyed in a huge explosion. The returning Cybermen think their slaves have betrayed them and ruthlessly gun the men down. Ace is shocked by this, but the Doctor says the men's humanity had already been taken away by the Cybermen, and the pair were already good as dead. The Flores strikes a deal with the Cyber leader to kill Penford and Richard in exchange for a share of control of Earth after its conquest. The Cybermen have no intention of honoring the deal and plan to kill Nazis after the death of Penford. The Doctor tells Ace that every time Nemesis comet approaches Earth in its 25-year orbit, it caused destruction. In 1913, the eve of the First World War, 1938, Hitler annexed Austria. 1963, Kennedy assassinated. Now it is 1988. They use they use the tape deck scanner to try to find the cyber fleet. Opening up the grave fully, Penford gazes upon her own image shown on the Nemesis statue. However, the Flores and his men arrive with guns, and Richard has only one arrow left. In fear, he hands over the arrow to the Flores and drags Penford away, leaving the Nazis in control of Nemesis. The Flores means he now has all three parts of the Validium. He placed the arrow in the statue's hands, and it becomes more animated. Simon arrives and asks the Flores where the bow is. When he opens the case, he sees that he does not have it all at all. So the Doctor sees a lizard emerge from hiding and realizes that the Cyber fleet is shrouded. He makes an adjustment to the tape deck and reveals the entire fleet of cyber warships, thousands of them. End of part 2. Part 3. The Doctor decides to activate the Validium by taking the bow to the crypt. When Ace seems frightened, the Doctor tells her she can wait in the TARDIS, but she refuses and wants to accompany the Doctor. Meanwhile, the Flores realizes he has overplayed his hand and tries to negotiate with the Cyber Leader. The Cyber Leader orders his lieutenant to kill the Flores, but he throws gold dust in the leader's face and flees. As the Doctor and Ace arrive at the crypt, the jazz tape finishes playing and the Cybermen's communications begin working. The Doctor enters the crypt holding the bow and maneuvering past the Cybermen with Ace, places the bow in the statue's hands but snatches it away again. The statue awakens and begins to follow the bow. Going back to 1638, the Doctor continues his chess game against his unknown opponent. Ace asks him who brought the Validium to Earth in the first place. What is really going on? But he remains silent. Taking a bag of gold coins, they leave. Penford begins to rant about all power being hers and her intent to retrieve the Nemesis. They come to the road and attempt to hitch a lift in a passing car. Richard stands with his stand out, but no cars stop for them. Seeing this fail, Penford steps into the middle of the road. A large, wide stretched limousine with dark tinted windows stops. The passenger in the back seat, an American woman, offers to take them into Windsor. She tells them that she is in England discovering her roots, revealing she is descended from the 17th century Remington family. Penford calls them thieves and swindlers. Mentioning Dorothea Remington, the American woman recognizes the name. And Penford knows that Dorothea died in 1621 from a slow poison. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Ace materialize inside the hangar containing the comet. Soon, the Nemesis statue arrives and the Doctor gives it the bow. The Nemesis speaks to Ace, telling her that it was fashioned by Penford into its current beautiful form, but that it has also had horrific forms in the past and will again in the future. The Cybermen arrive, and Ace shoots one down using a gold coin. He shoots it with a slingshot. The Cybermen pursue her, but she manages to elude them. The Doctor sets the trajectory of the rocket sledge containing Nemesis, headed for the Cyber fleet. Ace becomes trapped on a gantry between two Cybermen and a Cyber leader, with only a single remaining gold coin. Cybermen lift their guns to shoot her, but she fires the gold coin at the Cyber leader and ducks, causing the other two Cybermen to shoot each other instead. Nemesis asks the Doctor if she must destroy the entire Cyber fleet, to which he says that she must. She asks the Doctor whether she will be needed again, or whether she will have her freedom, but the Doctor hushes her. Ace arrives down from the country, but is surrounded by two more Cybermen. They demand that the Doctor hands the bow over to them, but the Doctor threatens to destroy the bow if they harm her. Placing it in front of the rocket sledge engines, he grabs Ace. As the two Cybermen advance towards them, the engines fire, killing the two Cybermen. However, upon the gantry, the Cyber leader plucks the gold coin from its chest unit. The Flores arrives and picks up the bow. He speaks to the Nemesis, but she remains silent. The Cyber leader raises his gun and shoots the Flores dead, and demands that the Doctor hands over the bow. At this point, Penford and Richard arrive. Demanding the bow for herself, he asks Ace who the Doctor is, and whether she knows where he came from. Ace says that nobody knows who the Doctor is, but Penford says that she does. When Ace asks how, she says Nemesis told her. The Doctor asks what will happen if he gives her the bow, to which Penford replies his power will be hers, but his secrets remain his own. Appearing to concede defeat, the Doctor says he is surrendering, but not to Penford, rather to the Cybermen. Penford threatens to reveal his secrets, so he calls her bluff. She says that she will tell them of Gallifrey, of the old time, the time of chaos. However, the Cyber leader says that the secrets of the Time Lords are of no interest of the Cybermen. The Cyber leader tells the Doctor to cancel The Nemesis' destructive capabilities. Doctor asks the statue if she understands the cyber leader's instructions, and she replies, "Perfectly." The triumphant cyber leader tells the Doctor to set the statue's course to rendezvous with the cyber fleet. He tells them that the Earth will become their new base planet, the new Mondas. As Nemesis launches, Penford screams and throws herself into the rocket sledge and merges with the Nemesis. The rocket sledge takes off and heads out into space. It arrives in the midst of the cyber fleet, and there is an enormous explosion, destroying all of the cyber warships. The cyber leader asks how it is possible, and the doctor replies that he merely asks if Nemesis had understood the instruction, but had not said anything about obeying them. The cyber leader prepares to kill the doctor, but Richard grabs the gold tipped arrow from the TARDIS door and stabs it into the cyber leader's chest and unit, finally killing it. The Doctor and Ace return Richard to 1638. There, Richard and a steward woman perform a concert for them. Ace asks the Doctor who he really is, but he just puts a finger to his lips and listens to the music. And that, my friends and companions, is the end of this story. Silver Nemesis. I will name some cast members. The Doctor is played by Sylvester McCoy. Ace is played by Sophie Aldred. The Flores is played by Anton Diffring. Carl was played by Mitten Yenal. Lady Penford is played by Fiona Walker. And Richard Maynard is played by Gerard Murphy. There are some cast members. Of course, the cyber leader is played by David Banks. The lieutenant is played by Mark Hardy. So, the most important cast members. Some world building in the story. First thing is Lady Penford time travels from 1638 to 1988 through black magic. Second thing is that the Flores and his men are neo-Nazis. Third thing is that the Flores listens to Ride of the Valkyries on a gramophone. Fourth thing is that the Cybermen, in particular the cyber leader, recognize the Doctor and acknowledge that he has regenerated. Ace states that her tape deck was destroyed by the Daleks and that Doctor built her another to replace it. Another thing, the Cybermen use programming to control two humans. Another thing is Kessling and Ampersand are mentioned. And when Richard mentions that the noise they hear sounds like a bear, Lady Penford exclaims, "Come, the bear will not pursue us. Such things only happen in a theater." This is reference to the infamous stage direction in William Shakespeare's play The Winter's Tale, "Exit pursued by a bear." So world building with the Doctor. Three things. The Doctor indicates that he knows Queen Elizabeth II, yet fails to recognize her when she walks past him. The second thing is Doctor is fond of jazz music. And third thing is that Lady Penford claims that she learned of a grim secret of the Doctor's from the old time, the time of chaos, from Nemesis. Another thing is that about individuals. Ace reads about Charlton Athletic in the Daily Mirror. And a second thing, Doctor once knew Louis Armstrong, who, according to him, had a very good understanding of time. Some world-building influences. The Changeling, the Flores is named after the servant. Where Eagles Dare, the Nazi plot. Funnily enough, Anton Diffring played Colonel Paul Kramer in the film. And third thing is that whilst developing his ID, Kevin Clark was inspired by Jacobean theater and hoped his story would be produced as a black comedy thriller with various plots running side by side with each other. Some world building with Gallifrey is that Validium is a Gallifreyan living metal. Penford calls the Validium her nemesis. Some world building minerals. Ace uses gold fired from a slingshot to fight the Cybermen, and Lady Penford's arrows are made of gold dipped in poison. And last thing world building in weapons is that Nemesis requires a special type of bow and arrow, both also made of Validium, in order to awaken. Then some story notes. I already said it, but this story marked the 25th anniversary of Doctor Who, giving the silver in the title a double meaning. And also, the setting is on November 23rd. Another anniversary reference being the date of the airing of the first episode in 1963 on the Earthly Child. It's the first Doctor, William Hartnell, and his granddaughter, Susan Foreman, and Ian Chessington and Barbara White. This is currently the only anniversary special in the series proper that it isn't a multi-doctor special, and it's first since TV started Three Doctors that was aired in parts. Um, and Three Doctors was, of course, with William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton and John Pertwee. Another thing is a notable thing is that this story marks the only on-screen appearance of the Mark Seven Cybermen. Another thing about director is that this is Chris Clough's sixth and final story as director. Already mentioned, this is the last story to feature the Cybermen before Doctor Who's cancellation in 1989. Consequently, it is also David Banks' last televised appearance as the cyber leader. Also, an important thing to note is that to ensure that part 1 of the serial was broadcast on the exact day of Doctor Who's 25th anniversary after the premiere of season 25 was delayed by coverage of the Olympics. The intended broadcast orders for the Happiness Patrol and the Greatest Show in the Galaxy were swapped. So this change resulted in numerous continuity errors being present throughout the three serials, including Ace already wearing Flower Child's brooch on her jacket in the serial, and the Happiness Patrol and Ace searching for her rucksack at the beginning of the Greatest Show in the Galaxy, despite it having been blown up during this serial events. Also, the idea that that Doctor was more than just another Time Lord was heavily developed during the climatic moments. He would eventually be forced to either reveal who he was, or save the Earth from destruction. Um, and that is some story notes. Then some things in continuity. Okay, first, Ace compares the events she encounters here with her experience with the Daleks. The Doctor also mentions that they had destroyed her stereo and he built her a new one. And you see that in TV story, The Remembrance of the Daleks. Second thing is Lady Penford shows her servant Richard Maynard his grave. The sixth Doctor, Colin Baker, explained to Perry that if he took her to Earth after she had died, she could see her own gravestone, linked to TV story Revelation of the Daleks. The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, would later see his own tomb on Trenzalore in the TV story The Name of the Doctor. A third thing in continuity is that the Cybermen aim to use Nemesis as a means of making Earth a new home, describing it as a second Mondas, in light of the latter's destruction in TV story The Tenth Planet, with the first Doctor William Hartnell. A fourth thing is that the Doctor spots a chess set in Lady Penford's home and realizes that she is a wolf of Fenric. Consequently, he becomes aware of Fenric's imminent return and plays chess with himself in apparent preparation, though he wouldn't clarify any of this until his actual confrontation with the entity in the TV story The Curse of Fenric. Fifth thing is that, although it should be impossible for anyone from 1638 to calculate correctly day 350 years later, as in 1752 the Julian calendar was brought into line with the Gregorian one, effectively meaning that 11 days from 3 to 13 September were skipped over. The seeming discrepancy is later explained by Fenric having consistently manipulated the timeline in order to control Ace. In Lady Penford's home, the Doctor retrieves a note and burns it. He tells Ace that although the mathematician was genius, he did need a nudge in the right direction. In the TV story, The Curse of Fenric. It's linked to that. A sixth thing is that in Pro's Interference Book 2, there is another Palladium based weapon featured. A seventh thing is that the Doctor dematerializes the TARDIS as an arrow hits it. The same thing happens again to the 10th Doctor in the TV story The Shakespeare Code and in TV story Gridlock. In both cases, the arrow dematerializes with the TARDIS. In another case, an arrow hits the TARDIS, but the 12th Doctor removes it prior to dematerialization. In this instance, the TARDIS is able to repair the hole left by the arrowhead. We see that in the TV story Robert or Sherwood, yeah, with the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. An eighth point eight is that Queen Elizabeth II later acknowledges the Doctor as he flies the starship Titanic overhead, having saved it from crashing into her and London. And that's in the story with the voice of the damned. And of course, the voice of the damned is a 10th Doctor story with David Tennant. Actually, it's a Christmas special 2007 with the companion Astrid. Point nine. The Doctor wears a vest and briefly carries a mop. His eighth incarnation would once wear a fez on his way into Egypt. You see it in comic Doctor Who in the Nightmare game. His 11th incarnation would later wear a fez and carry a mop in TV story The Big Bang, and ultimately developed quite a fondness for that style of headwear. And is that for the Day of the Doctor and Kerblam. That's with the 13th Doctor Jodie Whittaker. The tenth thing is that Lady Penford asked the first question in her final confrontation with the Doctor. Doctor Who? Have you never wondered where he came from? Doctor Who? Who can be used as a threat. And we see that in TV story The Wedding of River Song. And that is what the 11th Doctor Matt Smith and the companions Amy, Pond River Song, and Rory Williams. And we see it in The Name of the Doctor, also with the 11th Doctor. Okay. 11th thing is that the Doctor dons a pair of brainy specs akin to the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison. However, he uses them in a futile attempt to hypnotize two of Windsor's castle's guards in a manner similar to the glasses utilized by the warlords. We see that in the TV story The War Games with the second Doctor Patrick Troughton and his companion Jamie and Zoe. And the last thing is that Nemesis passes close by the Earth during Pro's human nature and is witnessed by a soldier named Wrightson. So, and that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story. Now, following the commercials. Blah, blah, blah. So, there we go. Sci-Fi Fantasy fans and all sort of fans meet on this channel for fun chats about the beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel and a special place in my heart for Doctor Who. Yes. And this channel is all about making friends and enjoy the things we like. Random, because we discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. Random, because we broadcast on non-fixed times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random, also because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in a live stream, feel free to contact me via Discord or YouTube, and we'll look what is possible. And it's also possible possible to invite me for your channel. I'm available for a panel in a live stream to talk about the things we are passionate for and enthusiastic about. We will make friends. Yes. So the Discord server of this channel is called Random Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who on Discord. And you find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. This is your host, Enigmatic Joker. So, I'm looking forward to meet you. See you next time. Have a nice day. Bye bye.